Right.
We're now ready to begin our Citizens Forum on the topic of Latrobe Drive. The issue of public safety on Latrobe Drive is being reviewed by our city staff. They are going to report back to the council in April. And with that, I'd like to call our first speaker to the podium, Cheryl Chandler. Welcome, Ms. Chandler.
Thank you. Good evening. When a local business decides to kill unborn children, injures women in the process, and violates health regulations, causing the government to shut them down several times, they are asking for controversy. When they advertise that they will gladly kill unborn children up to 20 weeks gestation, they naturally garner attention from opponents of this brutality. A preferred women's health center on Latrobe Avenue has done just that. Gentle Christians have ministered on the sidewalks in front of it since its opening 15 years ago. We sidewalk counsel, we offer hope, help, and medical truths to moms and dads. We preach the life and soul-saving gospel, and thousands of children have been saved. Of course, this causes a decline in their profits, and they are now on the warpath to squelch our efforts. And they've managed to capture the attention of Councilwoman Isolt and Mayor Roberts. I was at the Latrobe Clinic on February 25th when Miss Isolt arrived. She spent over an hour talking to the police and the mass of pro-aborts. She made concerted efforts to get their input and feedback, patiently listening to their complaints about us. Oddly, she never once spoke to any pro-lifers. She was on an extremely one-sided mission. I have lived in Charlotte 34 years. Miss Isolt, am I not your constituent? Are you not an at-large representative? Are my views extraneous? Within a couple of days of her visit, the gauntlet began to fall on us, and the police told us no parking signs would soon be installed in an effort to restrict our pro-life mobile units that park in front of the clinics and offer free pregnancy tests and ultrasounds. Hundreds of lives have been saved in those units. Hundreds. One such woman was lavishly showered just yesterday. Cynthia's expecting her baby boy in a few weeks. My pro-life ministry, Truth and Mercy, provided a lavish shower for her yesterday, giving her all she and her baby need for the first 2 years of life. Cynthia couldn't make it tonight, but wanted to stand beside me here tonight and communicate that she is grateful that our folks were out there last October when she came to abort. She went in the clinic initially, but heard our pleas and offers of help through our amplified sound system, the very one Isolt and Roberts are now threatening to restrict. Cynthia came out and breathlessly cried, "It smells like death in there." She voluntarily boarded our mobile unit and saw her little 9-week-old baby and all his perfectly formed fingers and toes. She heard his heartbeat and chose life. She heard our offers of help, medical help, financial help, housing help, mentoring help, and more. She is one of hundreds saved on those units. Would you deny her that? Would you deny the life of her soon-to-be-born son? For nearly 25 years, I have faithfully served thousands of women in Charlotte, and it hasn't cost one taxpayer dime. You should be glad we do what we do. You should be asking how you can help us, not threatening to restrict us. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Chandler. We next have Vicki Kasor. Our next speaker is Vicki Kasorg. Am I saying that correctly? Vicki Kasorg? Did I say it right? Kasorg. I was close. Welcome.
Hello. I have volunteered for the past 3 years as a pro-life advocate with Cities for Life on the sidewalks in front of the abortion center on Latrobe Ave. Last year, over 430 women chose life over abortion as the result of our ministry. Unlike the preconceptions about pro-life ministry, we help these women and their children as long as they will let us. The only time I've seen a dangerous traffic incident on the street was when a pro-choice escort veered her car to try to hit me, something a no parking zone would not have prevented. Nonetheless, there was a proposal to zone the area no parking, where our mobile ultrasound RV and we counselors park. This would hinder our ability to counsel and help these women at the place where they need it most. We heard of the proposal shortly after Councilwoman Eiselt visited the abortion center. She spoke with the pro-choice workers and police, but did not speak with a single one of the Cities for Life sidewalk counselors. Thus, she would not know the story of this woman and her family standing beside me. She wouldn't know Lakira came to the abortion center not really wanting to abort, but not knowing how she could manage otherwise. She met us, saw her baby on the RV's mobile ultrasound unit, and her heart was changed. We offered her a lavish baby shower, providing everything her baby in her arms would need for the first 2 years of life, got her a car, furniture, a computer so she could return to school. She was so moved by the sacred joy of her little Leah that she now volunteers on the sidewalk with us.
We can't hear the speaker.
Were the no parking ordinance enacted, that RV wouldn't have been there when Lakira needed it, and possibly little Leah would not either. Okay, I have 59 seconds. Because no one asked us, council members would not know about the woman who called me after a botched abortion, who ended up in emergency surgery, or another post-abortive woman who was suicidal, who called me needing someone to talk to. These women didn't call the pro-choice people because they don't share their name or number or help following the abortions. We do. We're there, standing right outside the abortion center and available where and when they most need it, which would not be possible if all these regulations to limit our ability to do so were enacted. It is easier to silence those with regulations, those that you don't agree with, if you don't know anything about the good that they accomplish, if you haven't bothered to find out or to talk with them. Just like it is easy to call a baby in the womb a clump of cells if you close your eyes to her beating heart.
That's your
Thank
3
you.
minutes. Thank you very much. Thank you. Our next speaker is Daniel Parks. Our next speaker is Daniel Parks. And after Daniel will be Cheryl Desloge. Say that? Desloge. Okay, Daniel Parks, welcome.
Hello, my name is Daniel Parks. I'm a pastor of Christ Fellowship Church, the director of a ministry here in Charlotte, the ministry you heard about, Cities for Life, and a resident of the city of Charlotte. I'm before you tonight because 5 miles from here, there's a place in which 150 to 200 babies die every week. 6 days a week, moms and dads bring their unborn babies to that abortion clinic and take their innocent lives. Because of their circumstances, so many of these women end up at the abortion clinic, and they've told us that they feel like they have no other choice. Our volunteers reach out from the public sidewalk in front of the abortion clinic on Latrobe Drive to give these families real choice. We're there trying to hand out life-saving information, proclaiming the truth of the gospel, showing the truth about abortion with signage, and offering free ultrasounds on board a mobile ultrasound unit. We've been doing this since 2008 and have seen over 3,500 moms choose life and been able to help them through their difficult circumstances. Being a gospel-centered presence at the local abortion clinics is only a small portion of what our ministry does, as you have heard and will hear tonight. But it is a very important part of what we do. Sadly, some on city council and the mayor have decided to come against our efforts. Even though we've been doing this for many years, all of a sudden our outreach has come under fire. We have had code enforcement threaten to cite us for our signs. We have had an unnecessary police presence watching over our every move. And some on city council are trying to look for ways to limit where we park the mobile ultrasound units, as well as to limit the way that we exercise our right to free speech. The mayor and Councilwoman Eiselt are backing a push for no parking signs on Latrobe Drive and other things that would limit our ability to minister effectively. This pursuit to restrict our activity is not motivated by a desire for safety, or they would have brought us into the conversation. Instead, it is apparent to us that it's not the mode of our ministry that is the problem, but the content of our speech. We oppose the destruction of unborn lives and the devastation that abortion brings to families. But apparently some in city government stand with the barbaric abortion agenda. It may not be on your agenda tonight to discuss these measures, but we have brought this to the forefront because we want those in city government to know that we will continue to stand for life in our city. We will continue to pray for Charlotte to be a place of life rather than death. We will continue to offer help and hope in the name of Jesus Christ. As long as the abortion industry remains a cancer in our city, we will continue to seek to rid our city of that cancer and to usher in a culture of love and life. The culture of death has had a stronghold in our city for too long. The Church of Jesus Christ is rising up, and the culture is shifting. The sleeping giant has awakened, and we aren't going away. All these people you see in these teal shirts tonight are here, and we want to let the city of Charlotte know that we are the Church of Jesus Christ, and we love Amen.
Our next speaker is Cheryl. Our next speaker, we're trying to get through our speakers. If you could please help us do that, that would be great. Our next speaker is Cheryl Desloge. Desloge. Welcome. And after Cheryl, we have Richard Deal.
Thank you, Mayor Roberts and the council members. My name is Cheryl Desloge, and I'm a registered nurse, and I have been serving my community. I reside in East Charlotte for the last 25 years and have voted and have been a member of many organizations that do charitable works, that do, at this time though, in my history of serving my community as a part-time volunteer for the last 4 years, I've been doing limited ultrasounds and seeing what we can't see with our eyes, but seeing with the spirit and with the soul. These girls get to see these precious babies. And 79 to 80% has been shown in statistics will change their mind from an abortion. They are offered help and choices. If this is about choice, then this is what we can offer them, helping them in this way. 1,084 women's stories are hard to tell in 3 minutes of confirmed free choices of life for their precious babies in the last 2 years of being out there. Because we are there. They have all been indirectly or directly affected by the message, by the presentation, by the choices that have been offered to them. Everything from the ability to put their child in a good adoption, to seeing their baby for the first time and giving the privilege to them for free limited ultrasound, free pregnancy test. There are so many, and I would want to reiterate, since 2008, October, over 3,000 women have been helped and babies saved. How many grateful hearts and thank yous and pictures of babies, fathers of babies, families and family relationships given new life because we were out there. We have a list, and it's numerous other things beyond out there that we provide. And there is no race, there is no gender, there is no age limitations out there. There is only opportunity for choice. But I'd like to speak to you tonight also about our connections with government agencies. You represent the government of Charlotte, and in terms of helping and satisfying the citizens to give them uplifting and opportunities, that our presence empowers women to rise above their personal circumstances with sustained help and loving relational support. Yesterday, Salvation Army ribbon was cut. They feed 300 to 400 women and children. Some of those women are pregnant. They're in our community. The ribbon was cut. okay? These are charitable organizations.
Thank you,
And I'd
Ms.
like
Deloge.
to tell you the government
That's
is
your-
for the people,
Thank you.
by the people, and of the people.
Thank you, Ms. Desloge. Next, we have Richard Deal. And after Richard Deal, we'll have Jasmine Sherman. Welcome, Mr. Deal.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mayor Roberts, City Council members. My name is Richard Deal. I volunteer with Charlotte Cities for Life, along with both of my adopted daughters. And I represent the volunteers who drive the mobile medical unit from the Helping Every Little Person Help Crisis Pregnancy Center in Monroe to Latrobe Drive, nearly every day, 6 days a week. It's then parked in front of the clinic at 3220 Latrobe Drive. The mobile unit offers free pregnancy testing, Medicaid-approved pregnancy confirmation, and free ultrasounds by a certified registered nurse, as you just heard, or sonographer. But the mobile unit represents more than simply a healthcare resource. Its presence represents life versus death at a critical moment for anyone considering abortion. The mobile unit provides space and time to carefully consider alternatives and their consequences. Abortion is permanent. The lost life is gone from this earth. The medical staff and Cities for Life counselors provide truthful information and images for choosing life as opposed to death through abortion for their baby boy or baby girl. There are contacts, resources, and referrals available to moms and dads who may feel alone or trapped, without options and hope in a desperate situations. Over the past 2 years, roughly 1,000 have chosen life, and you've heard nearly 3,500 since 2008. The testimonies reported back as many stay in touch with Cities for Life or the Help Center confirmed that life was the best alternative, even if it didn't seem so at the time. Placing no parking or other control measures along this area of Latrobe Drive will in effect remove each person's ability to see all the facts as they face a moment of crisis. Because every life matters to God, the message is help for today and hope for tomorrow. Help today is offered in the larger context of that ultimate hope provided by God alone through the empty tomb of Christ alone. Like the parable Jesus told of the Good Samaritan, the Help Mobile Medical Unit is there to reach out to our neighbors in desperate need for immediate help and eternal hope. Location, available parking on Latrobe, and access to the sidewalks are all critical to hear and see that help is available in any situation. We do represent the voice of the unborn child. In the natural realm, we don't hear an audible cry from a child in the womb whose life is prematurely ended. Abortion is the intentional killing of the unborn, which is a clear and willful violation of God's commandment not to murder. It's our responsibility to bring that message in truth and love. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Deal. Our next speaker is Jasmine Sherman. Welcome, Ms. Sherman.
Thank you, Mayor, City Council. I'm really short. Originally, I was going to come down here and I was going to give you a prepared speech about thinking about kids from Greer Heights that run out into the street, but you can't see them because cars are blocking the street. Originally, I was going to tell you guys about the decibel level, how it's so loud, it's louder than a jackhammer, but I'm not going to talk about that now. What I'm going to talk about instead are the lies that you were told so far. And you're here to listen, so you can't tell me to stop. If you look at these pictures that I have here, you don't see a mobile RV unit. You see individuals blocking the streets, stopping cars from getting through. If you look here, you see individuals chasing cars on foot, stopping them from getting through. Everyone has the right to freedom of speech. And when our founding fathers came up with that great rule, they had no RVs in mind. When they came up with that rule, people were supposed to say what they had to say and say it for everybody to hear. And these individuals can still do that. They're still going to be there on the street. But First Amendment rights have nothing to do with RV units or cars or traffic. The police of Charlotte have pointed out to the CDOT that there is a safety concern. There is a large loop. It's shaped just like a tennis racket. And you cannot see when you come down. And you've got people in the street chasing cars, blocking cars. You can't see when you have little kids darting in and out. The other groups of individuals that are out there don't just include adults and pregnant women. It also includes the little children that are brought out there. Those kids play out in the road, on the side.
Please be respectful of our speaker. Everyone else was respectful of the other speakers, and this is how we have a humane and caring conversation.
Can I get that time back? The whole point I'm trying to say is there are children that are brought out there. There are playpens brought out there. So we are aware that there are kids that come there. There are kids that come from Greer Heights, like I said originally, who are on bikes, who are on skateboards. And I don't remember if you guys remember when you were kids, but you're not always paying attention to cars. The side of Latrobe, because it's shaped like a tennis racket, there's not a sidewalk the whole way up. What you have is mobile RV units, cars, adults shouting. It's chaos, madness, and confusion. And even the local law enforcement has agreed that it is a safety concern. Latrobe Drive, if you look at the data for accidents in Charlotte, has had 32 accidents. But no one's talking about that. We're trying to prevent more accidents. We want everyone to be safe. If they want to communicate their message to the women, fine, communicate the message to the women. The beauty of being pro-choice is I'm not affected by what she decides to do. The beauty of being pro-choice is if she wants to talk to you, give her a business card. Tell her go to an address. She can go to another building. She doesn't have to get on a scary bus and be held captive to miss her appointment. So the whole point I'm trying to make, and I know I have very short time, is First Amendment.
I'm sorry, that's the end of your 3 minutes.
Even though I got interrupted?
Did
get interrupted.
I understand, but that's the end of your 3 minutes.
That's not fair, Mayor, but that's okay.
But you're welcome to leave a statement with the clerk.
I mean, all my statement is First Amendment doesn't include RVs.
Sherman, thank you very much. Okay. Our next speaker is Sue Duchenois. Sue Duchenois. Everybody's got hard names tonight. I don't know what. A lot of French names. Sue Duchenois. And after Sue, we'll have Kayla Hallis. Kayla. Welcome, Ms. Duchenois.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, City Council. I want to talk about the need for no parking signs. As Jasmine indicated, it is a tennis racket. It's a broken tennis racket, but it is a tennis racket. Latrobe only has one entrance from and one exit to Wendover. The road forks at a loop about a half a mile down from Wendover, and the natural contour sends you off to the left. About a halfway to the women's clinic on the left